Welcome to a brand new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts and delivered by DoorDash.
Welcome to Real Life, everyone. What is going on right now?
I think that I'm in love with Matthew Tkachuk.
Are you guys all drunk?
Welcome into episode 343 of the Real Life Podcast. Tyler Yaremchuk, Jay, Chalmers, Wanye. That's a lot of episodes. Hello. Brought to you by the HGA Group.
It's a lot of episodes and a lot of the same fucking problems that we're dealing with as Oilers fans.
Coming to you live from the deep freeze. The deep freeze north, eh, boys? I am so sick and tired of everything in my life. As per the opening, I wish I was drunk right now because with this cold and the way the Oilers are playing and the way things are going right now, pretty much the only way I have to cope with life in general. What
Alcohol?
the hell is going on?
Oh, well, one thing that's this weather's preventing us from doing, Chalmers, is sometimes I like to pace when I'm upset and I can't go outside and pace and have a drink in my hand because it's A, the drink will freeze, and B, I will freeze. Yeah. So that is a challenge. So I can empathize with that. But what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on is right.
Yeah, and it's a shame. It's a shame that they finally showed up and had some effort against like one of the best teams in the NHL.
They actually probably deserve to win that game, which I tweeted up before the game started. I'm like, it would be so Oilers for them to win that game. But they played well enough, and we just, if it's funny if you had if you displayed the score as if it was a soccer score, you would have the score 4-2, but 4 of the goals scored in that game would show up under the Oilers side, but they would just be in brackets O.G beside 2 of them, which is the most demeaning thing I see in sport. I can't believe they do that in soccer.
It was clear that going into this game, there was a lot of, a lot of tension to deal with our goaltending situation. There's been a lot
actual
of
tension,
Yeah, actual tension, like real room tension building up.
Oh,
and that
right,
was like
that kind of tension.
The one thing that I thought we could not have right now is like divides in the room, and I'm sure as shit they reared their ugly heads, and now we're going into this game, with Koskinen coming out and saying what he said about the offense.
Yeah, but Chalmers, I think you got spun there. I think we all got fucking spun. I think on the translation of that, because if you go looking like the full breakdown, and I don't remember the lady's name, she is Finnish.
Mary Lomberg.
Mary Lomberg broke it down. It was not as bad as it got picked up and promoted as.
I'm more upset that Tippett said what he said. Because I think that went more towards dividing the room than Koskinen firing back. Like if that's not a story if Tippett doesn't say shit.
Tippett is taking a shot at his GM because our goaltending isn't great. And that's what that comment is, because enough's enough. I bet you Tippett's been wanting to say that for 3 years now.
But a guy like Tippett, who's been around the block so many times, like as the leader of any company, any organization, any team, it starts with you and it ends with you. And to go into a press conference like that, just demoralized and looking, agitated, and then to make those comments, it's a bad look, and he should know better.
He does. He does. Like he's taking a shot. No, fuck. He's taking a shot at the GM. Our fucking roster sucks right now, and we're getting exposed, and our goaltending is a big hole on it, amongst other things. So I think he's just containing it. That's like, Ken, wake the fuck up and address our issues. That's the problem.
Right. Okay, so we say that, but there's always another side to it. There's always a side of what is there to do? Like, what is there to do out there? I'm
get a goalie.
You've talked on the pod like for 3 weeks in a row that you want Jacob Chychrun like so bad, and now you see what's being offered. Like there was a tweet that I saw that says like the offers are high. Like,
Why not?
We can't.
Norris potential defenseman, sure.
Our coaches lost 11 straight games, Chalmers. This is a dead stick playing. Our
coaches did not lose 11 straight games. The roster and the organization, the Edmonton Oilers, lost 11 straight games. I will not pin this all on the coaches. I know people are going.
The result is the same. We have to do something if we're losing this many games consecutively.
I know everyone's going crazy about Puljujärvi not being in the final push there at the end, and that there's probably a lot of truth there, but like, and this is where I wish coaches would be a little bit more open and honest, or share and let us in about like kind of some of the decision making, but that would just give more fuel to the fire to the fans. But maybe that was a poor coaching decision. I don't know. But the reality is,
go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead. Because I'm just going to repeat myself.
Well, Yaremchuk, on the decision making of the organization and maybe the coaches and who to play and who not to play. Last night a bright spot was Brandon Perlini was flying. That goal that he scored was, nothing short of a guy working his ass off. And you see him making a difference. Why has he not been in when we've been short? Like, no offense. I know he can't just switch places.
Chalmers, there's been so many games where he's played and he hasn't, he's been a ghost, anything, right? He hasn't done anything.
Okay,
but he's
Kyle Turris
yeah.
doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you can fire Kyle Turris into the sun. He does nothing.
Yeah, and that's fair, Chalmers. That's fair. But what you're talking about, Chalmers, like take it 40,000 feet into the air, into the sky here, and look down. It's a bottom six issue. And that's what needs to be addressed. Like we can just throw players under the sun or into the sun and under the bus and do that all we want. Like that's not their fault. That's roster construction.
Jay's right. Let's pick them apart one by one and turn on each other afterwards.
Brendan Perlini played a team low 9 minutes and 37 seconds last game.
He looked good in that goal though.
And
he almost scored a second one there too.
Kyle Turris played 13:01. So I'm not great at math, as you know. But
what did McLeod play?
13:31. So 30 seconds more than Turris.
Oh, McLeod, I love you. I'm starting to love you. You're getting more confident, but oh my God, if you're an NHL player, what the hell are you? Where's your nose for the net, man? Jeez.
Hey, Chalmers, are the McLeod brothers like the vanilla plain yogurt version of the Tkachuk brothers?
Oh, big time. Who's the other one? I didn't even know he had a brother.
Michael on New Jersey.
Yeah. And they took a photo at center ice. It was like Goober 1 and Goober 2. It's the poor man's Tkachuks. We have one. Let's go.
It was funny when they did that interview with, I think it was Gene in the second intermission. And it was the two brothers each standing on their own bench. And Gene was like, do you have anything to say to each other? And they were like, good luck. See you out there.
And the parents were heavy duty. Remember, they were pretty funny. The mom and the dad, they were getting to hold the mic for themselves.
The two brothers though on the bench was super, super awkward.
Oh, the parents too.
It's so great. Awkward because they can't say what they want to say.
Those are our Tkachuks.
Not on live TV. Hey, so if we're gonna sit here and we're gonna bust on Ken Holland for doing the bad things, let's point out the one thing that I can see, and especially it was amplified by seeing him mic'd up last night. But Hyman, man, I've fallen in love with this guy a little bit more.
I love Zach Hyman.
Every time I watch it, he just the way he talks to the others, you can just tell that's a guy who just loves to be on the ice. He loves to be in the room with the guys. He's just a guy that I think every team would want, right? So there's one good thing, right? But
I actually don't think he's been good recently.
Yeah, he's not the same Zach. Well, but that's the same about most of the Oilers. He's not the same Zach Hyman that he was the first 6 weeks of the season. But I'm not worried. Like he's going to come. He'll come.
And the thing, for me, Hyman's play is almost a microcosm of the whole team right now, where how many times have they had the puck in the other team's end for 30 plus seconds and they have them hemmed and they're cycling it. And the end result is a missed pass out of their zone or a shot that misses the net. They're not doing any. And again, yesterday, the effort was great. It was really, really encouraging to see them bring a little bit of intensity. I'm not even going to say a lot of intensity.
If they weren't on an epic losing streak, yesterday's loss, it was still an entertaining game. It wouldn't be that bad at all. It's part of this terrible stretch of hockey where every game needs to be a bigger win.
And yesterday's they're on a big slump. And of course they're going to I don't necessarily say outplay the team, but played well enough and had some unlucky bounces to lose the game. That only would happen in a slump. If it's not slump land, that game. Probably
if you're telling me lucky bounces is what cost you the game against the Leafs with no Connor and no Nuge, that's probably a reasonably good bad outcome.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you guys. We
that dry pass at the end was mind-blowing
with our kids team because sometimes we'll lose a game and we won't get the puck luck. And last night I don't think the Oilers got puck luck, and the Toronto got it in spades. And so we always say hard work creates puck luck. But last night it seemed like the effort was there, and we're just not getting it.
Yeah,
so,
and those nights happen. It's just the fact that, but those nights happen. Like sometimes you, like I said, I'm not sure that we outplayed the team. Right, well, we're in a slump. We've been playing where we deserve to lose, but when you're in a slump and you play where maybe you should win, if you're in a slump, you lose that game. Just like there's games when we were hot 9-1, we're like, how the fuck?
Yeah, we should have.
We're like, how did we win that game? Won. Like it works both ways.
We've all heard about what notorious stories in baseball about slump busters. Mark Grace used to wear a gold thong when he was in a slump to get out of it.
Yeah.
What's some things that the Oilers can do to get out of this slump? Like they've been in
slap
New York.
Each other on the butts, like David Ortiz.
They've had time to go out and bond as a team. It's
have they? I don't know. Have they? Like it's this road trip's been pretty back to back
protocols.
And now the protocols are
Christmas. They had a little like après ski party that I saw. Like they're I'm not buying that they're not bonded together as a group. Like,
well, they're bonded, but like I said, like they're playing like shit. Let me fucking finish this. Let's watch the league leading or very close to league leading Washington Capitals. What do pregame? They run in the hallway, they yell at each other and jump into each other, and they do all this shit because they're loose and they're tight. We don't do that. We don't have that.
Did you just say they're loose and they're tight?
They're loose and they're tight as they're loose emotionally and
tight emotionally.
Tight.
Not tight emotionally. Tight as like
emotionally.
Tight bonds and loose anxiety. No anxiety.
And we have loose bonds among the players
and tight anxiety.
And we're tight on anxiety.
Well, we don't know that. I don't want to speculate that there is loose bonds, but just like that's a team that's
loose bonds.
That's a team that's worn their golden thongs and have all gotten onto the same program, and they're loose because they're having fun, and we're not having fun right now. So we have to find a way to have fun. That's why I said in New York, Connor. Now, granted, I don't know when they can go spend it, and they didn't win the game, but like put $1 bajillion on the board, get the team behind it, and then go blow it on some fun party. They're gonna have 2 weeks off. Like that should have been Toronto, but obviously Connor wasn't playing.
I don't think they can go out in Toronto right now, can they?
No. I know, but after this game, there's a giant break coming for them with all this postponement. Do you think they're gonna play any games during? Like they're gonna make up some games?
Oh, I mean, they got to start making up games eventually. So they're going to play on Monday against Ottawa, which means they get Friday, Saturday, Sunday off.
And do we have 50%? Like, are fans allowed to look into the game?
Yeah, I saw people saying that their tickets are approved as valid. So I'm assuming it's going to be 50% capacity. Just no food or drink, obviously, for the home crowd in Edmonton against Ottawa. And then the next game.
Are we allowed to drink our own tears if we're losing?
Nope, not allowed against government protocol.
What? They have to let them fall to the ground?
Yeah, well, as long as it dips under your mask or something. I don't know.
So then the next games on Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and the next Tuesday are all postponed. So the Oilers are going to play Monday against Ottawa, then have 10 days off. They'll play on the 20th against Florida. I don't think they're going to jam any games into there, but Friedman wrote in 32 Thoughts that this is kind of it for the Canadian teams getting their break. And after this, they're going to start just saying, if you got to go with no fans, you're going with no fans. Because right now they're kind of letting a few of the teams reschedule and bump games. And then the All-Star or the Olympic break is going to be non-existent. Like that gap, like the Oilers are supposed to be off from February 3rd to February 22nd. I bet you they play 5-6 games in that span because you got to jam them in. Like
100%.
You need to get them in somewhere. So that All-Star Olympic break you see on the schedule, that won't be there for much longer.
So plenty of time to figure out this fucking hex.
What's worse than losing all these games in a row? Having all the games paused.
Well, I mean, maybe they could use the time off. If you're ever, and that's why if you're ever going to make a change, like you do it either now or you do it after the game against Ottawa when you know you probably have 10 days off and you try to work something into there.
Make some moves.
No Mike Babcock.
No,
that's not happening.
Nothing coaching related. Roster related. Let's go.
And if it was coaching related, Wanye, I saw the Oilers or our Oilers Nation Twitter account talking about Babcock. Is not happening. It's not going to be Babcock.
That's me. That's me, you fool. I'm starting my own rumor and referring to it.
Well, maybe that's.
I have a feeling. I'll quote the Black Eyed Peas. I have a feeling. Mm-hmm. I got a feeling. What was it?
Yep, that was it.
There it is.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember.
I just think Babcock's skulking around with his dress shirt and ties, all pressed and ready to go. And Ken Holland only knows one real route to victory in the modern age. That's Mike Babcock at the bench. and he's free. And I feel like a guy like Ken Holland isn't going to do anything to tarnish his legacy with 2 years or 3 years remaining on a very good career. I don't think he'd be the guy to make a crazy blockbuster trade and risk ruining his legacy. I do think he's the kind of guy who will return to what works. And with Mike Babcock available, if there's ever going to be a time where he would make a move on a coach mid-season, I think that should be who he would hire.
No. It's not going to be Babcock. If he does make a change, it's bringing up Woodcroft or somewhere else. I think that enough bad shit went down, and the legacy from Detroit with Babcock and everything he went through in Toronto, like his legacy got dinged up enough. And you're talking about Holland not wanting to ruin his legacy.
And you're talking about big trade. It's only been 2 years since Babcock left the Leafs. Right? It was 2019.
Yeah. I think that Howland's like, this is my boy. Maybe he's a little bit rough around the edges. Maybe he's got himself some hot water. We stick together. We've won before. We'll win again. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Babcock. And that sound you hear is me shrieking.
But then why are you spreading the rumor?
I don't know. Something to do. There's a break.
Fair enough. I don't think it'll be Babcock. They're clearly pretty set on not making a coaching change because of what happened already. I mean, if you lose to Ottawa, then how can you not do anything? But the patient approach is clearly what Ken Holland's going with. If you want to talk about trading, getting a goalie, Frank Saravalli has his latest trade targets article up over.
Who does he have? Was it Flower number one?
No, I don't even think Fleury's on there.
Oh, wow.
I don't think, I have a funny feeling Fleury's not going anywhere. I
feel like Chicago owes us a favor.
But number 5 was the guy who shut us down the other day, Alexander Gorgiev with the Rangers.
Why would they trade him going into playoffs?
Because he might be
for space to get someone else, because they're probably tight to the cap.
Yeah. So Frank was connecting them to Tomas Hertl as at number 1. And I asked Frank about that. I said, why would the Rangers move Gorgiev heading into a playoff push? And he kind of said it might be a luxury they can't afford if they want to bring in some other pieces, and they'd probably get a decent pick for Gorgiev. So he makes $2.45 million pending UFA at the end of the season, or RFA, sorry, at the end of the season.
Oh yeah. We need that. We need some team control. We can't be buying any rentals right now, especially if we're going to have to spend a lot.
And the only other name on the list was Jonas Korpisalo in terms of goalies. And he's a pending UFA. He's a couple of years older than Alexander Gorgiev. He'd cost you less in terms of assets to give up, but he's not nearly the goalie.
Man, the Rangers have so many offensive weapons, like young weapons, except for Zibanejad's kind of old, but a Panarin.
Could we call Gorgiev the Iron Curtain?
If he stops a lot of pucks, absolutely.
That'd be all right, eh?
Get behind
that. There's never been a Russian goalie called the Iron Curtain?
Not to my knowledge.
Oh.
Not in Edmonton. I mean,
Bulin. He was a Bulin Wall, though.
Yeah, Bulin Wall, which had a few holes in her at the end.
Yeah, we got the 1989 Bulin Wall, not the 1964
Bulin Wall.
Yeah. I got a piece of the Bulin Wall on the top of a beer stein.
That's history, man. There's no limit to what that could be worth one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like even a trade. I don't know what's out there because they don't have a ton of cap space. They don't have a ton of assets.
We don't have a ton of assets. Yes, we do.
Well, what are the easiest things?
We have everything.
The easiest things to move at this time of year are your 2nd and 3rd round picks, and they don't have them until next year.
We are moving 1st round picks. You want to know why? We're in year 7 of McDavid.
Well, yeah, I agree that we should, but you need to be like damn sure, like that's your one bullet. Whereas if you had 3 or 4 bullets to use at the deadline, you might be more confident in sitting there right now and saying, you know what? Let's just find out what our 2nd round pick can get us and do something right now. But you only have the one bullet.
So
it's time. Start using some first rounders.
Fuck yeah.
This is getting too late in the game with Connor and Leon. It's too. You got to start fucking pull the trigger on some.
Yeah, or like I hate to say it, next year fucking trade one of the big 2 for all of the assets. Like if we don't. Well, but what the? But I'm saying.
My God.
But I'm saying. I am honestly saying. Well, what's the point if we're not?
Get me a medical alert bracelet.
We're not. We don't have the roster to unlock. Like Connor and Leon are phenomenal.
You are going to stress people out with
no.
You are.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I want to trade them, but I'm not saying I want to trade them. But if we're not going to make big moves and give them the roster that they need to go out and win, which is ultimately they want to go and do, they don't have it right now. And if we don't make those moves, well then fuck, we're writing off their contracts with us. So we may as well just trade them and get crazy assets and rebuild. I don't want to do this. Trust me, this is not my opinion of what we should do. But if we don't do it, we may as well fucking
Sophie's
do it.
choice.
If we don't get the roster,
moves, we blow it up next year. Okay, JR said that.
Yeah, if we don't give them what would Connor or Leon want? If we don't give them what they need to win, what would they want? They would want out. So fuck, like why not instead of letting them leave as UFAs, just blow it all up, get a full fucking clean regime change of the organization, and let's just try to go from rebuild from there. But I don't want. I am saying that.
What you're saying.
I'm just saying that because that's what probably should happen if we don't give McDavid and Draisaitl what they need, because we're not giving them what they need.
You're saying this year, this deadline is the tipping point.
We have to start addressing we don't have to win the Stanley Cup this year. We have to make some moves to make sure we get into the playoffs for one, because now that's in doubt. And to at least win a round, to instill some hope, and then make some more offseason moves, even though we've got limited cap space, but we got to find a way to do it, because that's what good GMs do, and then continue to build from there. But if we take a step back this year, well, what the fuck do you expect? What do you expect? That's the reality. Trust me, I drink the Kool-Aid and I try to stay positive, but I'm fucking pissed right now. And we have to start addressing what the ramifications of what's happening right now could have if we don't go out and try to improve it. It needs to be improved. We can all agree it needs to be improved. And I want McDavid and I want Draisaitl to play their whole entire careers as Edmonton Oilers, but we have to create the situation and circumstance to allow that to happen. And it's not there right now. And that's the scary thing. I get scared every time over the last 3 years. What fucking drives me the most crazy, would get me so mad, and I just would dismiss it, but I would eat inside of me and still concern me. Oh, we're wasting McDavid. He needs to get out of there. Free McDavid. And then after, the Winnipeg series, free McDavid just fires up. And that affects me emotionally.
Right. So we've been saying that for a while. Don't waste McDavid. Don't waste Leon.
Yeah, okay. So but we're living in Groundhog Day, Chalmers. We're living in fucking Groundhog Day because we're not doing anything to create the circumstance for them to want to stay. That's the problem.
So what you're saying is it's like Sunday night and you've had homework all week and you didn't get it done, and now you've been pushing it off. You've been saying, listen, we still have some time with Leon. We still have some time with Connor. We can make this right. But you're saying right now that we are at a point where if it doesn't change this year, if we do not get better, that we have run out of time.
Well, stop trying to put an absolute deadline on this, but we're not fucking far away from it. I know what you're trying to do here. I know what you're trying to do here, and that's good. That's good for content. I appreciate it, and you're stoking the fire. But if we don't we're creating that situation. So we have to start fucking doing shit. We are we not?
Leon.
Yeah, you think they're just going to ride this out and accept mediocrity for 3 more years?
I'm not saying I don't agree with you. But I'm not saying that I don't agree with you.
I don't want that to happen. If that happens, oh my God. If that situation happened, I don't know what I would feel and think. I don't even want to think about it. But we have to look ourselves in the fucking mirror and say, hey, this is not acceptable. Yes, we came out hot. We thought everything was great, but that's the start of the season. We're going to get a bunch of penalties called against us. Every team's going to be a little bit loose, but every team's tightened down and playing more defensive and more playoff-esque hockey, if you will, without kind of the Warrior shit. And we're getting exposed. We're not there yet. We're not there. So get us there.
So Yaremchuk.
Yeah.
You're sitting on the DFO rundown with Frank and Jason, and you say to them, if we don't get better this year, do you feel like we've wasted our last year with Connor and Leon, that we don't have another year to waste with them? What do you think their answer is?
I don't know.
We do. Just how you phrase it. Come on, Yaremchuk. We do not. We didn't have another year to waste with Connor 2 years ago, but he's sticking with it. Yeah, Leon's sticking with it.
I got to agree. As much as I hate hearing it. I mean.
And then what do we do? What do we do in the offseason? What do we do in the offseason? We got $26 million in cap space.
And that's why, I wasn't exaggerating when I said this past summer was the biggest offseason in franchise history, and the GM fucked it up. So, I don't think
unfuck it. Unfuck it. Let's go make some fucking moves. They figure out a way, man. The good ones do.
I don't know. You're just so handcuffed. And for everyone who sits there and is like, oh, the Barry signing's not bad. Could you trade that guy if you wanted to right now? Absolutely not. unless you're throwing him into a deal with some futures. You're not. Everyone who says, oh, Duncan Keith's not that overpaid. Would any team in the NHL, if Ken Holland sent out a blast email to the 31 other GMs and said, Duncan Keith's available for free, you can have him for nothing, you just have to pay the $5.5 million cap hit, no one would touch it. No one would even, and he's played fine, but no one would even come close to touching that deal. No one's coming close to touching the Koskinen deal. You got shit all to do with Mike Smith because he's always hurt and you can't bury him in the minors. So like, these are just mistakes you can't bounce back from.
We can LTIR Smith because he's bound to get hurt again. And I love the heart and fire of Mike Smith, but he's just showing that it's showing that he's breaking down physically, and that's unfortunate. But that's just a reality in this. So you LTIR him. You find someone to eat Koskinen's remaining 3 months of his deal with us. And you start, yeah.
Okay, but what can you even? So what are you going to give up to make that happen? Your fourth rounder next year, third rounder next year, I guess. Okay.
Why are we talking? We're in the business of trading number ones, man.
Well, I'm talking.
That's
about,
the only way we're going to move the needle.
You're going to trade the first round pick with Mikko Koskinen?
No.
That's what I was talking about.
No. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, yeah, you have to trade up a pick, but maybe you can package that into a bigger deal. Is kind of, you throw that in like how we should have thrown more salary at Chicago.
When you're sinking, what's the old thing? Frank says it. When you're sinking, other GMs don't throw you a life raft. They throw you an anvil. And no team's going to pick up the phone from Ken Holland and be like, yeah, Kenny, I'll give you a good deal here.
They do. That's so funny. That's true. But then they do. Because then you look at like Seattle in the expansion draft and some of their picks that they made. I'm like, why are you helping out teams in cap trouble?
Seattle just galaxy brained their whole expansion draft and kind of fucked it up. Like they could have had Vladimir Tarasenko for nothing.
What does galaxy brained mean?
They overthought every decision and went too deep into what they were doing.
They watched too much Star Wars.
That's called galaxy brain when you overthink shit.
Yeah, when you overthink and you get yourself into a pretzel.
Fuck yeah!
And you lead yourself into making the wrong decision. Even though you almost know it's the wrong decision.
Do you think that happened because they watched how Vegas did it and they were like,
yep. They're like the blueprint.
Yeah.
I got to have a better angle. I'm galaxy braining this shit.
But Vegas, like Seattle was open for, Vegas was open for business. Seattle didn't try to do what Vegas did and accumulate picks.
Well, I think they did. They just set the bar too high. That was always the talk, is that they told St. Louis, yeah, we'll take Tarasenko, but you're giving us a pick. And St. Louis is like, well, no, we're not doing that. And Seattle thought they were calling everybody's bluff, but in reality, no one was legitimately willing to pay those prices. And they ended up with the team they have now, which is a not great team.
They say, Yaremchuk, when you're drowning, they'll throw you an anvil.
To galaxy.
An Advil. I need an Advil. Throw me an Advil.
Fuck, ain't that the truth?
So anyways, we need to shake up the roster.
The rebuild we're in next year.
Well, don't fucking create that situation, because like it's coming if we stay on this same path. Because like I said,
I've seen every single kind of Oilers losing season, all of the different kinds there are, right? I've never seen this one before.
Well, they've come out hot a lot before, but like, but this is different.
Franchise history,
it's
and
different.
Then you tack this onto it.
You're right. You're right. It's different, and like
it's like a roller coaster that goes up only to go down with equal ferocity.
We were buzzing. We were able to score, but like we're still our weaknesses were getting exposed, but we were just fine with it because we were still winning games.
But when you're out of players to the extent that they have been, like how much of this is really problems with the lineup?
Every team goes through that. Every team. That's not an Oilers isolated incident. Look at the Washington Capitals. Look at other teams. They're finding a way to get through it.
Sounds to me like you're turning into quite the fan of the Washington Capitals while we have problems here at home.
Well, they're the best team in the league, and
now's not the time to look at the best team in the league.
But I want the Oilers to be the best team in the league, so I want to see what's happening with the other good teams in the league and see how they are, and then reference that against our team. And we're not seeing it. That's all.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh yeah, sure.
I just thought about this. The last time I saw the ticker when it said Connor McDavid and Ryan McLeod added to the COVID protocol, how did McLeod get out of it so fast?
He wasn't. It was Derek Ryan.
It was Derek Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah. He was the one.
Chalmers, can you not tell Derek Ryan from Ryan McLeod?
I don't know. They all look the same. Everybody in the bottom six looks the same.
Fair enough.
That's the problem. You're right. That's not a terrible take.
Hey, there's 3 good players in that bottom 6.
So, anyways,
the situation right now for the Oilers, they are.
Dire.
Well, they're 5th in the Pacific Division in points percentage.
Gross. Worst position in the league. And worst division in the league, sorry.
And they are 10th in the Western Conference in points percentage. And they got to get into the top 8 to make the playoffs, which means you got to leapfrog 2 of Anaheim, LA, Winnipeg, or St. Louis.
I believe they can. And the team could still be constructed the same for this season, and we'll still probably make the playoffs.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying that, yes, but we're not going to go far. We're also not tough enough.
Ever since Alberta turned into the Arctic, both Alberta teams have been getting their asses kicked. It's the cold's fault.
We haven't been playing at home. Like that's the thing. We haven't been playing at home. We've been on the road and enjoying away from this.
Yeah, they go to nice places and then they mentally shut down because they're like, I got to go back to Edmonton.
Oh my God. If Oilers are going to shut down because they have to go back to Edmonton after road trips, we're going to have to move Edmonton someplace nice. It's going to take years.
Edmonton, Kentucky. It exists.
All right. Before we
imagine we did a land swap with Edmonton, Kentucky, where we all got to move down there and recreate the city exactly as it is here or there with nicer weather.
I like the cold weather.
Chalmers, is there precedence?
We'd have to give him a first rounder.
They'd be like, we don't want to swap you. Look at your goaltending.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Before we keep going, give some love to DoorDash and Oodle Noodle, a dynamic duo if there ever is one. DoorDash, you can use the promo code RealLifeDD, gets new customers of the app 25% off and no delivery fees on their first orders. That was like 31 minutes of straight up hockey talk for the most part.
Oh, we can keep going too, but we just need to make a splash. Like it was funny because I was
going to be rebuilding next year. DoorDash.
Nope, they will not be rebuilding. No. Chalmers, thanks.
No, they'll be forging ahead. They won't need to trade.
Very well said, Chalmers.
They won't need to trade their top employees.
Thank you for that.
Well, I do not think we're in a rebuild, but we're creating a circumstance where we might have to blow everything fucking up, and that scares the shit out of me. But here's the thing: we have a chance to fix it. So fix it. Fix it.
Fix it.
Show us. Everyone show us. Players aren't showing us right now that they're kind of too, well, last night they did, but on the skid, they haven't been too engaged. Like everyone, like I said, go team bonding, go do those fall into each other's arms things, go on a bender, do everything to do to really click the team together. So that's what we need the players to do. We need the coaches to go and just do a complete reset and come at it with a clear mind, because they're probably in galaxy brain as well. And that's probably why Puljujärvi wasn't on the ice or whatever the hell is going on. And we need our GM to address our roster issues and just figure out how to do it. I'm not the GM. I'm not here to be like, oh, you should trade this, and this. But he's the GM making $5 million a year. Go address our problems, or as many of our problems as you can. You might not be able to do it all in 1 year, but if you can address 2 of 3 or 2 of 4 or 5 of 10, that's better than 0.
The issues are the problems on the roster are the same problems as when he took over 3 off seasons.
Yeah, exactly. All your solutions to last year's problems are now your problems for this year to solve.
It's Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day. That's the whole thing. And that's why I was so excited going into this offseason. Be like, man, like this is now we're entering our window. Like that we were preaching that. We were preaching that going into the summer. Like we're entering a window. This is exciting. And then we start 9-1. We're like, holy shit, it's happening. And then, we quickly, as the league got tighter and it improved around us, we're getting exposed. And now that's why we're, since November something, we're a below 500 team, and that sucks.
That is why this hurts more.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Stop talking about it.
All right.
Yeah. I don't think they're, again, I said this on the Beatcast yesterday. They're not 16-5 good, but they're not 2-9-2 good. Or 2-9-2 bad, I should say.
A couple roster changes and we'll be 16-5 good. I believe in a lot of this team, but we just need to give these guys some more help. Give them help.
What is the injury to the Nuge?
I believe it'd be lower body based on like the replay we kind of saw and the way they showed it. It looked like he tweaked a knee or some shit like that. I don't know for sure though. The other names on Frank Saravalli's trade targets board give that guy to me. I'm liking more and more of that guy. All right. So Hurdle number 1, not happening. Sherratt number 2, probably not happening. Chychrun 3, not happening. But in
a Lawson Krause package.
Yeah,
do it.
I like Lawson Krause. I like Alexander Georgiev. I like he's an RFA too. I like DeBrusk. Jack Roslovic and Max Domi are 2 players in Columbus who are both there. I'd be intrigued by both of those. Riley Smith in Vegas is there. Nick Leddy in Detroit is a guy I have a lot of time for if the Red Wings are willing to keep some money. 30 years old. He's been to the conference finals or better 4 times, I think, already.
Yzerman wants picks. He's just accumulating a big basement full of picks, and he's building the Red Wings for the long term. So give him what he needs for 5 years from now, and let's go. Give us
Patrick Hornquist with the Panthers. No. Probably not happening. Ricard Raquel.
No.
I wish.
Why is that? How is that even on the list? They're above us in the standings.
Because Anaheim's going to be an interesting team to watch here over the next 75 days up until the deadline. Raquel, probably not realistic for Edmonton. Kessel, pass, makes too much money. Vitaly Kravtsov, not a solution this year. Calvin DeHaan in Chicago is interesting, but they would need to eat probably half that contract.
Phil Kessel is your classic anvil being thrown to us drowning. But somehow or other, when we're this strapped for cash, Phil Kessel is the answer. Good God.
Well,
Mark Giordano, not happening, makes too much money. Dylan Strome in Chicago is interesting as a centerman, but not enough defensive ability there for me to like him in the bottom 6 as a centerman.
That's not going to win. That's not going to win you the press
They could push Nuge to the third line center, though.
Trade.
Which you don't want to be paying $5 million or whatever the hell, $7 million.
Henrik Borgstrom, pass. Evander Kane, definitely pass. So yeah, those are the names on Frank Saravalli's list. There's a few that intrigue me from the Oilers, but you're gonna have to pony up and pay some assets. So get some cap space.
Let's just go and just steal as much as we can from the Arizona Coyotes. How come there's no Buffalo players on there? Was there any Buffalo players on there?
Because that's how bad Buffalo is. Like, who's taking Jeff Skinner or Kyle Okposo? Cody Eakin's there in Buffalo.
Okay, but let's talk about it. Lost a crazy. There was some reminder. Oh, it was the Doug Gilmour trade or something. It was the anniversary of that from Calgary to Toronto. It was a 10-player deal.
Mm-hmm. That's what we need, a mega deal.
Man, and we haven't had a mega deal, I think, since Joe Thornton. I think, but like. And once again, Chalmers, don't fucking hold me to this because this is not me saying this is not my take. I'm just throwing out a hypothetical. You go to Arizona and you just take Krause, you take Kessel retained, you get Chychrun, you offer up Koskinen, Barry, 2 first-round picks, and Broberg or Xavier Borgo.
Mega deal.
That's not happening.
Does Arizona wants that?
Yeah, Arizona,
because they're blowing it right up.
Well, yeah, there's barely anything left there, but they are blowing it right up. Like, everyone on Arizona's roster is available in a trade.
Yeah, so like, why could you just like throw all that shit there? Because that helps our bottom 6. That and that's a guy maybe you could move up the lineup if there's injuries. That helps with our physicality issues that we are facing. Mm-hmm. It gives us a stud defenseman, gets rid of Koskinen, and then you get Phil the Thrill. You get him retained. You know, he still contributes, and you can put him on your third line. Yeah, that's where he excelled. He was on the third line in Pittsburgh and was winning cups at will.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying but you'd have to take him as part of getting those. It's those other 2 pieces that you care about the most. Mm-hmm. Like, why not? Like, I'm not saying let's go. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, cause like I'm looking at that trade list and I'm like, oh fuck, what else are we gonna do here? Like, what's available? Like, that moves the needle. Krause and Chychrun on your team helps plug some of our deficiencies. Yeah, which is important.
Not to give excuses, because I know Yaremchuk loves excuses, but you know what is really screwing the Oilers over horribly is losing our dear friend Oscar Klefbom.
Oh yeah.
Like, the impact on this immensely. Lineup through no fault of Tippett, no fault of Holland, no fault of Oscar himself. But like, what's the impact of that in this team? The defense just collapsed.
Yeah, and the loss of Larson. Like, we lost. Like, they
lost a damn good second pairing with Klefbom and Larson. Like, Klefbom was their best defenseman in 2017, and they don't have it anymore, right?
Yeah. Don't say Thomas
and
Grace.
Nothing coming back in return for him. It wasn't as though he was traded.
Don't say it. Are you going to say Thomas Grace?
No, I'm not going to say Thomas Grace. His numbers aren't good enough.
Okay.
I'm just scrolling through the Red Wings cap friendly, seeing who they want. A nice view here of the Justin Abdelkader buyout, which Ken Holland made them do. Beautiful. Still got 5 more years on the books. But yeah, no, I just really like the name Nick Leddy. I think that's a guy they could really, really benefit from. You would need Detroit to keep half, and it probably at that point would end up costing you the first round pick, or it's something like you give them a first, they throw you back a third in the deal kind of thing.
Well, how much term's left on the deal?
He's a UFA at the end of the year.
Yeah, you're not paying a first for that much salary. Like it's if it was
You guys,
how can it be that complicated to have every first round pick for infinity and all you need to do is fill out your bottom 6? Like, how can this be this hard?
I got a question. Also, does Chris Russell not deserve to be on that list of defensemen that we've lost? Like, what's up with him?
I don't know where he is. Yeah, he's hurt. He's hurt. Yeah,
he's hurt.
I know he's
broke
put
his
on long-term IR, but like, what's the deal? He just kind of went away and nobody brings him up.
He was
a good point.
Okay though. Like what is he though? He's Chris Russell. He's a third pairing defenseman.
He's a bloody shot leading king of the NHL, son.
That's right. He's got a belt buckle to prove it.
Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, Chris Russell's not solving your problems right now.
Well,
we just need and I know this is wishful thinking. Like there's what's, being marketed as available, but like that Joe Thornton trade was totally off the radar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not like, and people will clip this and call me a fucking idiot, but like, I'm not saying like, yeah, we need to like find a Joe Thornton and do that same thing, but like shit can happen.
Mm-hmm.
You can make shit happen. Make shit happen.
Yeah, they got to make shit happen. And maybe that's why Ken Holland was scrolling on his phone so much in the press box yesterday.
Well,
maybe he was busy.
I was sitting there. I'm like, I really want to know what Ken Holland's font size is on his phone. That's what I really want.
Huge. He sat next to me at an Oil Kings game once, and it's absurd.
What?
It's the biggest you can set it at. Yeah. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to know. Yeah, it's like, I bet you it's massive.
Yeah.
He looks at that phone like he's looking across space and time. Like it's a distant gaze.
Yeah.
Maybe he was on TikTok.
He doesn't look like a guy who's filled with vim and vigor at this stage, does he?
Oh,
he looks like he's weary.
I don't know. Like,
weary.
You're saying you're worried, like protect his leg. Like he's already established his legacy. He's got 9 million.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame already. So like, why not be bold? Like now's the time. Be crazy.
Well, at the end of your career, your legacy is you did all that wicked shit. You didn't fuck it up by going to Edmonton.
But he's already in the Hall of Fame.
Connor McDavid.
He's already there. It's already done.
This is still the final act of his career.
I'm sure he'd love to win in Canada and have that under his resume and be the GM who built a team around McDavid. But again, like he's in the Hall of Fame. If there's ever a time for him to take risks, it's now. The issue is he's taking risks and they aren't paying off.
They have all failed.
The Hyman deal's
except
good.
for Zach Hyman.
Yeah. I like Fogle. The price you paid was high, but I like Fogle. And
I feel like you could have. I feel like you could have kept Bear and still did a trade for Fogle because he wanted out of Carolina. So to give up Bear for that, like once again, defense is an issue for us.
I do like CC though.
Yeah, sure.
CC's been fine.
CC's fine. He gets a little allergic. He gets a little allergic on the offensive side of the puck. Yeah. You know who else he gets allergic on the offensive side of the puck? And people are going to hate me for this, but this is only when he's moving the puck. On the blue line, he's fine. Bouchard on the rush, he hits the blue line and all of a sudden like times out and like coasts in. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like
he's had a rough couple of games actually. I haven't liked him over this last, I'd say 3 game stretch. He's been a lot of
keep
bad
moving
turnovers.
Those feet, buddy. Keep moving those feet. You're creating the opportunity to put yourself in the corner position, but all of a sudden you power down and you just like coast and then just get like blown up. And I'm like, whoa, that was so easily avoided.
Yeah.
You know what I enjoy during this dark time though still is Yamamoto being on fire.
He's playing great hockey.
He is playing just great hockey. Bless his little heart.
Yeah. Yeah. And McLeod's made it like, granted, I don't know why he did what he did last night, but like he's taking a step, like he's getting more confident.
Yeah. And again, like I think I have time for a little bit more Brendan Perlini in my life. I definitely
he shoots. That's the one thing I'll give him is that he'll shoot from anywhere. Yeah. But and you know what? That's what we fucking need right now.
Colton Sevier, I love that guy. That was a good pickup by Ken Holland. I'll give him credit there.
Yep.
Tyler Benson's actually playing probably the best hockey of his NHL career right now.
Yeah, he's coming. I wish he was a better skater, but he's coming.
But like the things are trending in the right direction in the bottom six. It's just like, fuck, they were missing McDavid. Like if they had McDavid for that Toronto game and brought that effort, they probably get at least a point.
And Mike Smith didn't play that bad last night. Like, yeah, sure. Like and it's funny because there's the like dichotomy between Koskinen and Smith and how we view him. Like if Koskinen lets that first goal in like Smith did, we would, have lit him up on social.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't as much on that one, but it was a bad bounce, but it's also like he kicked it in. Like maybe Koskinen doesn't let that one go in. Who fucking knows? But, he played good enough outside of those two bad bounces. He played good enough for us to win.
My kids are even saying, we got scored on again in the first 5 minutes of the game. It's like, why can't we do something about that? I'm like, son, I wish I knew, my man. I wish I fucking knew.
Should have recorded that.
No idea.
Good.
Yeah. Eventually, like I almost want to, I haven't done it yet. I want to start betting on them to score the first goal every game now. Cause I feel like they're due.
It's gotta come.
It's gotta hit, right?
It's gonna pay dear, isn't it? Like I on a whim right before the game, I tweeted out, I was like, I'm gonna bet on the Oilers. Like it's so Oilers shouldn't win. So I did it and it was like plus 250. So, and they almost pulled it off.
Last night I was yelling because there's a few rules in hockey. One of them is you don't get scored in the first minute or the last minute of any period.
Mm-hmm.
My God, was that annoying to watch him get scored on with 27 seconds left.
Well, once, yeah.
That can't fucking happen. You can't.
We also always let the first shot in, Chalmers. Don't forget that part.
Charles, you'll like this. I did a 25-1 bet builder on the Oilers game. So I had Draisaitl to score, Oilers to win the first period, Oilers to win the game by 2, and Hyman to score. And it was 25-1. So I just had a couple bucks on it to have some fun. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy shit, Draisaitl scored. They're about to win the first period. I'm like on my betting account. I'm like looking, I'm like, hell yeah, this is going to cash. This is going to be sick. What a payout. And then the Leafs scored and it was over.
Yeah.
Tough life. Tough life.
Oh, good. Yeah, that sucks.
Shout out to our friends at Twiggy Bears. TwiggyBerries.ca. Promo code NATION15 gets you 15% off. It's too cold. It's too cold for ODR. But when it warms up a little bit, it will be peak ODR conditions around these parts. And you can check out their ODR line right now. They got toques, they got hoodies, they got hats, they got long sleeves, everything.
It is sharp. I do love the look of their hoodies. I'm a big bunny hug guy, and their bunny hugs look legit.
Mm-hmm.
And are legit. I shouldn't say look. I've got 2 of them.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Anything non-hockey? Oh, how about this for an NFL story? So heading into the last week of the regular season, and there's an interesting playoff race in the AFC. It's the Colts, the Chargers, and the Raiders, and only 2 of them can get in. If the and Raiders play the Chargers as the late game, Colts play earlier in the day. If the Colts lose earlier in the day, then the Raiders and Chargers would have to tie, and they would both get into the playoffs. So
collusion.
Well, what would you do in that scenario? So if you're sitting there and you're the Raiders and Chargers.
Again. Say that again. I don't know what you just said, but it's awesome. What did you just say?
Okay, there 3 teams are in the playoff hunt. The Raiders, the Chargers, and the Colts.
Yes.
The Raiders and the Chargers.
And only 2 can get in.
Only 2 can get in. Raiders and Chargers play each other Sunday night. Colts play earlier in the day. If the Colts lose, then the Raiders and Chargers can both get in if they tie. If not, the winner gets in, the loser is done, and the Colts would still make it.
So how does the format go when there's an extra team in the playoffs?
What do you mean?
Because there's only... Oh, sorry, because...
If the Colts win, they're in. If they lose and one of the Chargers or Raiders lose, they're in. But if the Colts lose and it's a tie, the Colts are fucked.
You don't tie that second game. You try to win. You try to let the Colts in. You don't.
Are you sure? What if maybe off the jump you're both going hard?
But what's the point? Why risk getting hurt?
Why risk anything? Why would you not both sit each other?
Take the bye week. Take the tie bye.
I don't know. Stuff like that always comes back to haunt you. Next thing you know, you play them in like the first or second round, and you get beat by them, and you're like, God, we probably had a better shot against.
Just punt the ball to each other for 4 consecutive quarters, never scoring a single point.
Or you each team's on the same side, you snap it to the quarterback and he just stands there for 15 minutes and the clock runs and the play never ends. It's 1 play per quarter and you just let the clock run. But okay, I mean, you're right, Charles. Off the bat, they would definitely be playing hard. But what if it gets to the fourth quarter and it's like 14-14? There's like 8 minutes left. You would think there's like an unwritten like, hey, run plays only on first and second down. And the running back just kind of gets a yard and then like falls and gets a yard, then falls. No fumbles, just go.
I don't know. I don't see it.
I don't really see it either, but it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about, Chalmers.
It is fascinating. There's a lot. No, I know it is, and I'm in the last week of the pick'em, and I need to make the playoffs. Top 35 out of like 150 make the playoffs, and so this weekend there's a lot of those situations. Like you got to try to see if a team's already clinched the first play, like the first round bye and a home playoff game. Mm-hmm. Are they going to sit their guys? Are they not? A lot of implications like that. So that to hear this one, to know that it could be even deeper than just guys sitting teams or guys sitting players because they, already have the first round bye, to know that's unbelievable. That's going to make my Saturday a whole lot better football watching, knowing that that's the case. I love that stuff. Bet on the tie.
Just hedge. Bet on the tie.
Bet on the tie.
Our friends over at PointsBet, I'm trying to see if I can quickly bring up the tie. A tie is 18-1 on PointsBet.
It's probably come down. I bet you it's normally like 36 plus 3,600.
Okay, let's just take another stab at like another game that's around a 3-point favorite here. 3.5 points. Packers Lions, which is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it's because
that's because they're going to sit. That's because the Packers are going to sit. Jordan Love's probably going to play that game.
Yeah, probably.
You got the Rams 49ers as a 4-point. Rams favorite?
Not 18-1 in another game. So
standard. Okay.
So you're getting good value there. If you think
then there's an edge, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's an edge.
There's an edge.
18-1 on PointsBet. I love it.
Well,
before we wrap up, I saw we were promoting on our social media channels our tournament in Jasper.
As we do.
Yep, as we do. We're going to be playing on the pond hockey tournament. If you've missed a few episodes, we're going to be playing on the pond hockey tournament out at the JPL, teaming up with our friends at Tourism Jasper. I believe the Oilers still have a game that weekend. Yes, they'd be playing the Habs at 5 o'clock on the Saturday. So we'll be on Jasper. We're
going to host a watch party.
We are
as part of all that.
Yes. And I'm just looking at the long range forecast to see what it's like there. And it's actually supposed to be like not bad. I mean, this is still a week out from there, but it looks like things are maybe warming up.
Well, and
it should be a good time.
And my sources are saying that there is a likelihood that Frank Saravalli might play on the nation team.
No, there's not.
I've got my sources. I've been checking the text messages, and sources are saying Frank Saravalli might be coming up and playing for the nation team.
We'd be a pretty loaded roster at that point.
Well, Frank did open up his one interview with us saying he was a good hockey player when he was younger.
Puck moving D-man.
And we need that. We need good D on the.
We do need that.
So come join.
Maybe go really off grid and just sign him directly to the Oil.
Oil could use him.
I got one more thing that's keeping me going. Today, they just teed off in the first PGA Tour event of the new season.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Called the Century Tournament of Champions in Kapalua, Hawaii. So if anybody's in a golf pool, they know that they got that to look forward to now, since football season's kind of ramping into playoffs, and hockey obviously sucks for Edmontonians, but
I'm excited.
Your fantasy league's probably done. Start getting into some golf betting.
I'm excited actually to get into some virtual golf betting now that that's like entered our sphere. I'm excited about that.
Oh
Chalmers.
Yeah, we're going virtual golfing on Friday. Are we not?
Really?
Yep.
I really want to get into. I've only ever gone once in my life, but I had a really good time doing it, and I really want to do it again. I'm itching to golf right now.
Let's do a real life virtual round and document it.
That'd be fun.
There you go.
Like when we did disc golf.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We need. I hate disc golf.
Yeah, no.
I Chalmers though, like if we get better, we would like it, and that's the challenge.
Get better.
Oh, I know we will.
We'll get better.
It's all
we'll
technique.
Work on it.
I didn't know the technique.
Nope, me neither.
All right. Well, good stuff. I think that's going to do it.
That sounds like I hate sounding like negative.
Yeah, well,
because I'm a Kool-Aid drinker.
You're a Kool-Aid drinker who's saying that they're going to trade Draisaitl and McDavid in the next month if things don't get
Holy
better.
Shit. You and Chalmers need to slow the fuck down. I did not say that. I'm saying
a turn of events.
I'm saying if we don't do anything and sit on our hands, that situation is going to get created. So let's not let that happen. Let's get ahead of it. We're running out of time.
All right, that's going to do it. Episode 343. No Oilers game until Monday, which is actually when you're going to get your next episode of the Real Life Podcast as the Oilers take on the Ottawa Senators. But enjoy a weekend with no hockey. There will be no Oilers to upset you, so it can be a positive weekend. If you're a football fan, enjoy the final weekend of the NFL.
No Oilers to upset you.
No Oilers to upset you. Maybe that should be the title of the pod. All right, this has been episode 343, brought to you by the HGA Group.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Real Life Podcast. Don't want to miss any of our nonsense? Hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.